Hi,
Hi,
Lan.
Lily. How are you? So thanks for joining me today. We worked together recently on your career advancement strategies, your implementation, and your plans. Tell us a little bit about your experience. Where were you before we started?
Yeah, so I had been looking for a job for a couple of months, and I've been working on my resume, my online presence, applying to different companies, using different job boards. And, I was getting a few interviews, and, I thought they went okay. Some of them, maybe not so well. I was a little self-conscious. I think that when you start interviewing and you feel that there's some urgency to get a job, that really affect how you feel and how you come across in interviews. And so, after each interview, I would say, oh, I wish I had said this a little bit differently, or I know that I have more confidence than I was portraying. And so I kept modifying my resume, modifying my online presence. And I knew that there was something missing. I knew that I needed to get some help.
So what were the achievements? What did you achieve at the end of it? I mean, how did it go? Did you get any jobs? Did you get any interviews? How did that go?
It went great. So you and I worked together. We went through the entire program. We had the one-to-ones. We had a good conversation. You gave me some great coaching, some great tips, and I started getting interviews. And each time I had an interview, I got better and better, and we kept working together. And I remember a Friday where we did some more tweaks to my resume and online presence. And then suddenly on Monday, my phone exploded. And I had so many requests for interviews that I literally could not keep up. I had them scheduled out for that week and for the following week. And it was like interview after interview. And so I ended up with 3 offers, simultaneous
Wow.
offers. And so I was so excited because they were all great companies. And I ended up it was really hard to choose. I ended up taking one that I thought would be the best fit, where I felt that I could do the most good. And it's ended up being the right choice.
Wow, wow. So at one point when I met you though, you were a little bit concerned since you were not getting a lot of interviews and offers, you thought there was an age thing going on. Tell me, how did you overcome that?
Yeah, so that was my concern. After being in technology for over 30 years, have I aged out of the process? Are they hiring younger people in technology? What's happening here? And so I started researching. I started worrying. And when you start worrying, that comes across when you interview. And so I actually attended one of your sessions where you got to ask questions and to get advice. And you and several others, were like, no, that's not the issue. Stop worrying about that. Just go be your authentic self. Go. You have lots to offer and so many things that you could do career-wise. Just go for it. And so getting that support was really important, and getting that validation and regaining that confidence that I needed to go into interviews was really critical. And I think that was one of my initial stumbling blocks. Was I too old to be in this field anymore? And the answer is no.
Yes, yes. And that's so important. And I would say to job seekers and career professionals, if you're too old or if you're too young, when are you going to be the right age? So it is very
Mhm.
important that you know that for more advanced career professionals, people are hiring you for the value you bring. And that's what you were able to figure out or to ascertain that, Pete. So you have a lot of value. You're a very smart lady. And when I looked at your profile on paper, I said, wow, why would she worry about something like that? But because of everything that is going on, what people are saying about age and all that, sometimes it can get to you and give you some kind of limiting belief. So I was glad that you were able to overcome that. And now you're in a situation where you're bringing so much value and you're bringing so much wisdom to this new opportunity and this new job that you have. So if you were to give advice to anybody who is looking for work and they are thinking of hiring a career coach, what would you say to those people?
I'll say absolutely do it. You know, we hire accountants, we hire lawyers, we hire professionals to help us in different aspects of our life. You know, getting someone who really understands the industry and how things work with experience. You know, and spend some time listening to them, read about them online, see what kind of success that they've had, and find somebody who's authentic, who's positive, who's knowledgeable, and really embrace the process. I think that you have to go through the process. You have to take the advice. You have to really reflect internally, but and also find that center again. I think that when you're in a job search, you feel like you've been thrown off center. And get a support system around you. Have a job search buddy. Have a career coach. If you need to, if you want to, get a healthcare professional, to assist you in talking through the process. I did that, and I can tell you that made a big difference for me as well. It's almost like, in the Wild West when you went across the United States and you have your caravan, you have the center coach, and then everybody would surround. And that's what you need. You need to have people surrounding you and helping you on this journey, this job search journey. And so I can't say enough about having that support system behind you.
That's awesome, because you're saying to career professionals that they should surround themselves with a team of people who are going to help to push them forward. And one is a career coach who actually knows how to help them to present themselves to the next employer. So that's very wonderful. And so thank you for coming and sharing with other career professionals so that they can learn from you. And I just wanted to say one more little thing, that, you can have a good coach, but if you don't have a good mentee or person who will soak up that information and use the information, and I would say congratulations to you, because you were very good at using the information to your benefit. And now you're sitting very pretty in a nice job, in a great job, and loving it. So I would say to career professionals, if you want, follow some of the advice of Lily, because she did great. And I'm telling you, with 3 offers in your hand and do not know which one to choose, that is a really good thing. So thank you for coming, Lily. And
thank you so much, Yvonne.
Thank you very much.
You make a difference in people's lives, and that's so wonderful and so appreciated.
Thank you. We
got the power to change the